on this team gonna stand up for Caitlin Clark? JC Sheldon grabbing Caitlin Clark all game, clawing at her. It's like tonight was a brawl, folks. Tonight was a brawl, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody on this team going to stand up for? And Sophie Cunningham. Oh, we're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. Before we do, shout out to everybody who showed up to the venue. Everybody.
The hardwood turned into a battleground during the Indiana Fever's commanding victory over the Connecticut Sun. This wasn't just basketball, it was warfare disguised as sport, complete with heated exchanges, aggressive defense, and multiple ejections that defined the evening's entertainment. The final scoreboard read 88-71 in favor of Indiana, but the numbers barely captured the drama that unfolded. This contest featured everything: exceptional three-point marksmanship, defensive intensity, and enough confrontations to fill a highlight reel.
Look at me.
Square, but cooler edge prevailed.
Hey!
He was up 10 at this point.
Hey, we would have been crashing our team.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever play with me like
If
that.
that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out.
The Fever's offensive explosion was powered by remarkable perimeter shooting. The team attempted 26 shots from beyond the arc, connecting on an impressive 42% of those attempts. Fast break opportunities generated 11 points, while the squad's largest advantage reached 21 points during the contest. Individual performances told the story of a balanced attack. Natasha Howard delivered a dominant double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds, posting a stellar +24 rating. Aaliyah Boston contributed 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in a well-rounded effort. Kelsey Mitchell scored 17 points despite not attempting a single free throw. Lexi Hull added 8 points to the offensive output. Caitlin Clark finished with 20 points and 6 assists, though she committed 4 turnovers while enduring constant harassment.
Everybody who showed up to the venue, we were rocking and we were rolling. The Indiana Fever beat up on the Connecticut Sun, a redemption game, if you will. Natasha Howard, 16 points, 12 rebounds, +24. Aaliyah Boston, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Kelsey Money Mitch, she was digging a ditch today, 17 points, 0 free throws. She definitely should have been to the line at least a couple times. Lexi Hull, 8 points. Caitlin.
The game's defining moments centered around escalating physical play that the officials struggled to control. Clark faced relentless defensive pressure throughout the contest, with Connecticut's defenders employing aggressive tactics that bordered on excessive. JC Sheldon shadowed Clark persistently, using hand-checking and physical contact reminiscent of elite perimeter defenders. The defensive intensity reached a breaking point when Marina Mabray delivered a forceful body check that sent Clark to the floor, drawing comparisons to football-style collisions.
Behind you.
T,
We can share the same jail cell. Yeah, bro.
oh my gosh, bro. Our team would crash, bro, because they would play with somebody that's like not even like it would be like they would do that to like Bridget or like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, stop fucking playing with Bridget like that before we run down on some shit.
The situation deteriorated further when Sheldon made contact with Clark's face during defensive pressure, leading to heated verbal exchanges between the players. Multiple instances of grabbing, holding, and aggressive contact went unchecked by the officiating crew. The pivotal moment arrived with 46 seconds remaining when Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough. As Sheldon drove toward the basket with her head down, Cunningham wrapped her up and sent her to the ground in a definitive statement play. The incident immediately escalated when Lindsay Allen and Sheldon confronted Cunningham, creating a 2-on-1 situation beneath the basket. Rather than backing down, Cunningham engaged both opponents simultaneously, demonstrating fearless intensity that energized the home crowd.
Clark, 20 points, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, and she was getting harassed all game. She was getting scratched, clawed, grabbed, held all game today. JC Sheldon was on her like white on rice. JC Sheldon was in her Pat Beverly, Lou Dort mode, doing whatever she could do to try to stay with Caitlin Clark. They got into it. They had words. Folks, what a game. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. This game had everything.
The altercation resulted in ejections for Cunningham, Sheldon, and Allen, though notably Mabry had remained in the game despite her earlier flagrant contact on Clark. The three-woman officiating crew faced criticism for inconsistent enforcement throughout the contest. While Mabry's obvious body check on Clark resulted in only a technical foul, Cunningham's retaliatory action led to immediate ejection, raising questions about fairness and consistency. The officials spent considerable time reviewing plays and consulting at the scorer's table, leading to extended delays that disrupted the game's flow. Their inability to establish early control allowed the physical play to escalate beyond normal basketball contact.
Just walk
For
them
real.
down.
Walk them down.
That is Minnesota Lynx players. Minnesota Lynx, who the Fever will play on July 1st in the Commissioner's Cup Championship. The Minnesota Lynx, who I consider probably the favorite to win the WNBA title this year. That's the team that I'm hoping the Fever face in the WNBA Finals. And they have
The Fever's response to the adversity demonstrated improved team cohesion. After absorbing physical punishment for 3 quarters, the squad finally found a teammate willing to stand up for Clark and establish a defensive presence. Cunningham's actions sent a clear message that Indiana would no longer tolerate one-sided physical intimidation. The bench and starting lineup rallied around their teammates' willingness to sacrifice personal statistics for team protection. This victory carried additional significance as revenge for a previous loss to Connecticut when Clark was unavailable. With their star player back in the lineup, Indiana dominated from start to finish, never allowing the Sun to establish momentum.
This game had everything. 3-point shooting, bombing threes, 26 3-point attempts, shooting 42%. I told you, this team needs to shoot 25 threes or more every single game. 25 or more threes every single game. We got to the free throw line. We actually made our free throws. We won the rebounding. Total fast break points, 11 fast break points. Largest lead was 21 points. Folks, I feel good. I feel good. And Sophie Cunningham.
The Fever's 3-point barrage proved unstoppable, with the team consistently finding open looks from deep range. Their commitment to perimeter shooting, attempting 25 or more 3-pointers per game, proved effective against Connecticut's defensive scheme. The Sun entered the game with a clear strategy to physically challenge Clark and disrupt Indiana's offensive rhythm. Sheldon's assignment appeared focused on constant contact and harassment rather than traditional defensive positioning. This approach backfired spectacularly, as the Fever used the physical adversity as motivation while maintaining their offensive efficiency. Connecticut's defensive intensity couldn't compensate for Indiana's superior shooting and balanced scoring attack.
have a completely different tone, roster makeup. I'm just keeping it real about the Minnesota Lynx. And I'm not saying this is preferable, but I'm just saying those two women kind of represent the vibe in Minnesota. It's a lesbian-based team, from their, butch coach to the roster makeup. Nafisa Collier is their star.
The game highlighted ongoing concerns about excessive physical play in women's professional basketball. The pattern of aggressive contact without consistent officiating intervention raises questions about player safety and competitive integrity. Multiple recent games have featured similar confrontations, suggesting a league-wide trend toward more physical play that officials struggle to manage effectively. The escalation from routine contact to ejection-worthy incidents demonstrates the need for clear enforcement standards.
Cunningham put me out on a high note, folks. I didn't even say, Ben, calm down, regroup. I didn't even say that. Let's get straight to the play. Everybody, the plays everybody is talking about. First off, Marina Mabry body checking Caitlin Clark to the ground. JC Sheldon all over her, riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh, man.
Indiana's comprehensive victory showcased both offensive excellence and newfound defensive toughness. The team's willingness to protect their star player while maintaining focus on winning basketball games represents significant growth. The 17-point margin of victory reflected superior preparation, execution, and mental toughness when facing adversity. Every player contributed meaningfully, from starters to bench contributors to courtside support. The physical confrontations may have overshadowed the basketball execution, but they also revealed character traits that could define this team's identity moving forward. The willingness to stand together when challenged often separates good teams from championship contenders.
But it's a tattoo-heavy team, girls that are a little bit rougher. And this is the WNBA. There are many of you all that only watch Caitlin Clark. That's it. If you watch the entire league, there's more of that, what you just saw for the Minnesota Lynx. And basically, they're calling out Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard.
This game could serve as a defining moment that brings the roster closer together. When teammates demonstrate loyalty under pressure, it creates bonds that extend beyond individual statistics and game results. The entertainment value was undeniable. This contest provided drama, skill, and emotion in equal measure. Fans witnessed both exceptional basketball and the passion that makes professional sports compelling viewing. Connecticut's back-to-back games featuring controversial incidents raised questions about their defensive philosophy and its sustainability. The aggressive approach that worked in previous matchups ultimately backfired against a more prepared and determined opponent.
Caitlin Clark needs to start wearing goggles, folks. Caitlin Clark's going to need to start wearing goggles. Bumps up on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark says, "Get your hands off me." And then here comes Marina Mabrey. Boom! Exploding Caitlin Clark like a safety coming downhill in the NFL. There was no flop there. Marina Mabrey did a straight beeline run to Caitlin Clark and checked her. You got Lexi Hull saying, "JC, what the hell is wrong?"
The Fever's balanced scoring attack, combined with their newfound physical toughness, positions them as a more complete team capable of handling various styles of play. Their three-point shooting remains elite, while their defensive intensity has clearly improved. Moving forward, this victory provides momentum and confidence that extends beyond the scoreboard. The team proved they can win convincingly while handling adversity, creating a template for future success in challenging environments. Minnesota Lynx members recently released footage expressing criticism toward the Indiana Fever's response during an incident involving Caitlin Clark and Connecticut Sun players, specifically Marina Mabrey and Dejanai Carrington. The situation occurred when Mabrey made contact with Clark, resulting in Clark falling. Sophie Cunningham later responded by targeting Carrington, though this came after the initial incident.
They're not saying it by name, but the Indiana Fever have two bigs, Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard, and they're basically saying, "Hey, where are y'all? Your star player just got knocked to the ground and is flopping around like she's been killed, and y'all are basically nowhere to be seen." And they have a point. As it relates to Aaliyah Boston, I'm always going to defend Aaliyah Boston. She's not a
The Lynx players demonstrated their perspective on teammate protection through their video commentary. They emphasized their commitment to supporting star players during confrontations, stating their willingness to escalate situations when teammates face aggressive play. Their discussion highlighted expectations for immediate defensive responses when key players encounter physical challenges. "We would crash out for our squad," the Lynx players explained, referencing their approach to protecting teammates like Bridget Carlton during hostile encounters. They stressed the importance of collective team response when star players face targeting or rough treatment from opponents. The Minnesota Fanchesses, scheduled to meet Indiana in the Commissioner's Cup Championship on July 1st, represents a different organizational culture. The Lynx roster features players known for tougher playing styles and protective attitudes. Their approach contrasts significantly with Indiana's current team dynamics.
Wrong with you? This was all game, folks. All game. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were getting checked. All game. The Indiana Fever were getting punked. All game. The referees let this physical style of basketball continue and continue and continue and continue and continue and continue. And eventually, Sophie Cunningham had enough. Oh, yeah. Sophie Cunningham had enough. Folks, shout out to Sophie Cunningham. We wanted somebody like this that
The Lynx squad includes heavily tattooed players with reputations for physical play, led by Nafisa Collier as their primary star. This roster composition creates an environment where player protection becomes a team priority, differing from other franchises across the league. The criticism indirectly targeted Indiana's frontcourt players, particularly Aaliyah Boston and Nalissa Smith. These players faced questioning about their absence during Clark's incident. Boston, despite her size at 6'5" and strong build, maintains a gentle personality rooted in her faith background. Her character doesn't align with enforcer roles, making aggressive responses unlikely. Nalissa Smith, who displayed protective qualities for Clark previously, no longer plays for Indiana. The team lost a player who demonstrated willingness to defend Clark during confrontational moments. Erica Wheeler, another former Fever guard known for supporting Clark, also departed the organization.
Enforcer. Period. End of story. She's a hardcore Christian. She's very feminine. One of the most feminine 6'5", 210-pound, 220-pound women I think you'll ever see in your life. It's just not in her makeup. She's a super nice, emotes love type person. It's not in her personality to be an enforcer. Natasha Howard, tatted neck, tats everywhere.
Currently, Sophie Cunningham serves as Clark's primary defender on the roster. Cunningham, with martial arts training since childhood, shows no hesitation in confrontational situations. Her background in Kung Fu provides confidence during physical encounters, making her an effective protector. However, questions remain about overall team unity regarding Clark's support. Some players may harbor reservations about Clark's playing style, including her tendency to embellish contact and engage in verbal exchanges that intensify opponent reaction. These behaviors sometimes create additional challenges for teammates. Team chemistry issues potentially stem from various factors, including possible jealousy over attention and concerns about Clark's on-court behavior. Some teammates might view her as overly dramatic or prone to initiating conflicts before seeking protection from others.
Said, I'm tired of this. I'm trying to step up. It's time to step up. We're not going to get punked anymore. We're not going to get pushed around anymore. We're not going to get treated like a little sister anymore, like a little brother anymore. We are going to start being the ones that say, you know what? We're not going to start the fight, but we damn sure will finish the fight. Sophie Cunningham, JC Sheldon going up for a layup, puts her head down like a running back, exploding through the hole. Sophie Cunningham wraps her.
Following the Connecticut incident, Clark's performance declined noticeably. During a subsequent game against Golden State, she struggled significantly, shooting poorly from three-point range and appearing emotionally affected. The Valkyries defeated Indiana despite operating with reduced personnel due to international commitments. 4 Golden State players were competing overseas in EuroBasket 2025, leaving the team with backup players and limited roster depth. This expansion franchise managed to defeat Indiana using primarily substitute players while their regular rotation competed internationally. Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana's veteran guard, publicly acknowledged the team's shortcomings following the loss. She described the squad as soft and criticized their lack of aggression during crucial moments. Mitchell emphasized how opponents exploited their passive approach to physical play. We showed weakness tonight, Mitchell stated, highlighting missed opportunities in contested situations and defensive lapses. She noted the team's failure to match opponent intensity, particularly when Clark faced aggressive treatment.
Got some wife, whatever. She just said she's not on board in a real way. And if you remember, or I don't know if you remember, but I said over social media, I was like, hey man, y'all need to hold on to this Erica Wheeler. She was their backup point guard from a year ago, little girl, tatted up, big Caitlin Clark supporter. She's like those Minnesota Lynx players, and she had Caitlin Clark's back, and I was like, y'all need to.
The Fever organization faces additional challenges beyond player dynamics. Head coach Stephanie White has taken multiple leaves of absence within weeks of the season's start, creating instability during a crucial period. Personal matters have required her absence during important games. Dana Evans, considered a significant free agent acquisition, also remains unavailable due to personal circumstances. Her extended absence removes another potential source of veteran leadership and toughness from the roster. These absences leave Indiana vulnerable during a period requiring strong leadership and unity. The combination of coaching instability and missing key personnel compounds existing chemistry concerns within the team structure. The situation reflects broader patterns within professional women's basketball regarding teammate loyalty and protection. Different franchises maintain varying cultures around supporting star players during confrontational moments.